Caillou Goes to Jail Chapter 3 Table Manners with Caillou. Caillou wasn't happy that a dog had eaten his lasagna. Mummy, Caillou asked in his babyish accent, can I have some more? Caillou's mom prayed he had simply misheard the child. There was no more lasagna, and even if she told Caillou that, he might throw a giant tantrum. She was unsure of what to do and stood there for about 5 minutes before remembering something. Caillou, she said with a faux smile on her face. Faux? Is it faux or is it fox? I think it's faux, right? I don't really know how to word sometimes. We don't
have lasagna. We have something even better for your body than noodles with artery-clogging tomato sauce and mozzarella and Parmesan cheese!
She screamed the last part for no apparent reason, but to put emphasis on how unhealthy the delicious dinner meal she reluctantly prepared to bloat up the entire family was. However, all Caillou heard was the first part of her somewhat sarcastic sentence. No lasagna? He shouted in disbelief, eyes widening and filling with tears. He bawled, throwing himself to the floor, kicking and pounding his fists. Caillou's daddy scooped him up off the floor and set him back in his chair. Oh, Caillou, listen. Mommy's making you better than lasagna, so be happy about it, okay, you little brat? He snarled, donning a ridiculously humongous grin before wrapping both hands around his neck. Now shut up or I'll slit. It was then that he realized that he had let his stressed anger get the best of him. Again, he quickly made a last-second word swap. I mean, or you won't get any dessert, he finished. Caillou sniffled and wiped his eyes. He did love dessert, and he was looking forward to the strawberry cheesecake tonight after he finished his supper. That lucky son of a bitch, if that had real strawberries in it, it'd give me hives, and I'd feel gross all day. I'd be itchy, and it would be disgusting, and I'd probably poop a lot. But fuck you, Caillou. Why does Caillou get everything that I want? Why? Does he get lasagna that he doesn't get to eat? He has a detachable head, and he gets cheesecake. I don't fucking get cheesecake. Of course, it was low-fat, and it was almost tasteless due to the lack of sugar. Oh, never mind. I don't fucking want that shit. Did he care? No! Since he was dumb enough to think that there was something better than lasagna coming his way. Of course he was a big enough schmuck to not notice the odd taste of the cheesecake. However, if Caillou wasn't a stupid, bald-headed kid, well, let's just say Mommy would be a dead motherfucker after dessert. Guaranteed. When did the fucking narrator turn to like a 50s mobster? Also, how do you do a 50s mobster voice? Caillou's mommy took his plate of vegetables he refused to come downstairs for earlier out of the fridge and put some butter substitute on them. Good thing I remember this, she said, putting them in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Rosie, no juice! Rosie threw her juice off the tray of her high chair. The training cup opened up upon impact with the floor and spilled everywhere. Oh no, Rosie, moaned Mummy. The microwave beeped. Boris, will you please check the microwave while I clean up Rosie's mess? Daddy opened the microwave and upon seeing what was inside almost threw up. If Caillou saw what Mommy fixed him for dinner, there was no knowing how the child would react. It was then that Gilbert strutted in a top hat and tuxedo. 5, 6, 7, 8, he meowed before breaking out into a bizarre tap dance routine. Daddy grabbed a machine gun out of nowhere and shot the tabby 9 times in the heart, causing him to fly backwards out the doorway, slamming into the hall wall. Can't you see I'm trying to worry about dinner? He shouted angrily. Gilbert didn't respond. Gilbert? Tears began to form in the corner of his eyes, but he snapped out of it. Whatever. 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1. I can't give this to Caillou. He's going to throw one of his trademark fits. I know it. No, I'm not going to lie to him anymore. I'm going to tell him the truth, and no matter what happens, I'll keep my cool. He took a deep breath. Here goes. All right, Caillou. Daddy sighed, placing Caillou's plate onto the table. Dinner. Caillou was shocked when he saw what was on his plate. It was a vegetable medley of broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, with a special new ingredient added just for Caillou. Bean sprouts! The little boy gasped. Daddy, no, not vegetables!
No wine! Ugh.
Rosie suddenly got out of her high chair and kicked Caillou in the nuts. Fire exploded in his groin area and Caillou let out a scream, grabbing hold of his testes. You know, this went from bad fic to troll fic to Adult Swim show pilot in about, 3 episodes.
Caillou wasn't sure what to say when Rosie kicked him in the junk and told him to quit whining,
Said the off-screen grandma narrator. All right, whoever's making that effect, I'm gonna kill him. Daddy shook his fist furiously. Caillou, eat your vegetables, Mommy said in response to Caillou's whining, still with a sugar-coated, cheerful voice. They're good for you. They'll make you strong like your 134-pound father. Excuse me, I weigh 221 pounds, intervened Daddy, and 6 ounces. Mommy was even more shocked than Caillou.
Go to hell!
She screammed in reply.
Overweight gluttons don't go to heaven.
Well, ugly dogs don't get in either. You need to get off your frumpy ass sometimes. Make the iron your friend. All my friends brag about their fun wives. Now, I could have married Melissa, but no, I got stuck with you. My pig, cow, ugly, stupid wife. Who, by the way, has less hair than our son. Caillou's mom was flabbergasted.
Here's a knife. Go cut up Rosie's lasagna for her and don't stick it up your ass like you did last time.
She threw a knife at Daddy's face. I want a divorce.
Well, fine. That's what you get for doing the mail lady and that neighbor of ours, Mr. Hinkle, yesterday. We're going to court tomorrow.
Mommy, I don't want to eat my vegetables, whined Caillou over all the commotion. Caillou's parents, you wanna calm down with the fucking aluminum foil? Whoa, that's so loud, Jesus Christ. It's like, I understand you gotta do things in the background show, but it's so loud. It's crinkly and loud. It probably makes my microphone sound like a 1950s radio.
I tried to not let it crinkle, but it crinkled a lot.
You're terrible. Go do the thing. All right, where the fuck was I? Sorry about that, guys. God damn it, woman! All right. Caillou's parents stopped arguing long enough to remember their son. Sweetie, we're getting a divorce, Caillou's mommy started sadly. What's a dog? Asked Caillou. It's divorce. Are you stupid and deaf like your father? Anyway, a divorce is when your dad screws the mail carrier and the neighbor, explained Mommy. Well, what am I supposed to do when you look like a cow? Yelled Daddy. Mommy face-palmed. Caillou, are you going to eat your vegetables? I don't want to eat my vegetables. Caillou's parents decided to keep their cool about the situation and sat down with him at the table. Caillou, you've had this problem before and dealt with it, Caillou's mommy said calmly. Remember, those veggies are berries in the eyes of bears, continued Daddy. Liars, hollered Caillou. These don't look like berries. I was only 3 back then. I didn't know any better. Caillou, please try them, begged Mommy, slowly losing her patience. What is she, a bad doctor? Patience is spelled correctly. I can't make that joke. They have butter substitute on them. She added in a sing-song voice, so I gotta... They have butter substitute on them! She added in a sing-song voice. No, I can't, replied Caillou. Why not? Daddy inquired, his temper gradually rising. Because I hate vegetables. I want cheesecake. He put his fist down on the table, almost causing the apple juice to spill. Caillou, please be polite at the table and be a role model for your little sister, reminded Mommy angrily and happily at the same time. I don't want to be polite. Or was I? Oh, I got lost. Caillou growled. Caillou's parents finally boiled over. Eat them! They shouted in unison. Caillou exploded, raising his finger as if making a speech. He yelled, No! I want to have cheesecake. Grrr. Caillou, eat them, or I'll stab your brain out. Daddy tackled Caillou to the ground, putting him in a headlock. Caillou pulled away and crossed his arms. He let out a half-grunt, half-whine. "What's the matter, Caillou? Afraid to die a quick, painless death?" Screamed Daddy, cracking his knuckles. "I hate vegetables!" The implied cancer patient got his plate of vegetables off the table and threw it on the floor, shattering it. He then threw himself to the ground as well, kicking his feet and pounding his fists. He screeched so loudly that the dead at the local cemetery arose from what was supposed to be their eternal slumber. I mean, come on, guys. So now it's gone from bad fic to troll fic to Adult Swim show to something wrote by someone who goes to Know Your Meme like constantly, because all these almost memes, these pseudo memes are really getting my goat simulator. It's time to play video games. I caught myself. I'm sorry. Let's go back. Caillou warned Mommy, "I'm going to count to 3. Caillou got up and began running into the kitchen cabinet over and over until his face bled. He then knocked everything off the counter, made a mess of the table, and began to toss things out of the pantry. Rosie burst into tears, unsure of what the heck was going on. "That's it, Caillou," said Daddy, getting Caillou's attention. "Go to your room. No cheesecake for you." "Fuck you, Daddy!" Caillou replied suddenly. Daddy was horrified. "Where did you learn that word?" he demanded. "Rosie says it all the time," answered Caillou.
"That's no excuse,"
Mommy said enraged.
"Rosie's just learning to pronounce words and make them into sentences. Your speech is pretty advanced for your age, Caillou. By 2 3/4, you were talking in clear, complete sentences with little to no babble in your voice whatsoever. Just because Roby mispronounces truck doesn't mean you need to copy her. Now, come get your spanking."
Daddy forced Caillou's pants down and carried him over to Mommy, him kicking and squirming all the while. Caillou was set down on Mommy's lap, butt in the air, and she began to mercilessly spank him with a belt. "Your voice..." Oh, wait, in between spanking, so I gotta... "Your voice is like Chinese water torture," Mommy yelled in between spankings. "You're the reason we're getting a divorce," sobbed Caillou. Caillou, old lady grandma Nader. Caillou was both shocked and frightened when he finally got the spanking he so richly deserved, said the irritating grandma narrator lady. Daddy screamed, pulling his hair out. When Mommy was done with Caillou, his rear end was red and soaked with blood. "Time to go to your room, Caillou," Daddy shouted enraged. He picked up Caillou and began to carry him up to his room. Of course, he had trouble. Caillou kicked, squirmed, and spat in his daddy's arms as he tried his best to get away. "No, no, no," he protested, but Daddy shoved his fist in his mouth to keep him quiet. "Shut up, you little brat!" Daddy threw Caillou into his room and slammed the door. "Good night." Caillou began to cry harder than he'd ever cried before in his life. He clawed at the door, but Daddy ignored him and went back downstairs to sit at the table and try to relax with a bottle of wine. Daddy had never been this angry before. At the table, he contemplated what to do with Caillou. At first, he thought about going in his room and shooting him in the head while he was asleep. He also thought about going back in time and getting Doris to have that abortion. However, he dismissed those ideas when he thought of a much better punishment. Yes, Daddy was going to call the cops on Caillou. Author's note, in the next chapter, Caillou gets arrested. Thank you for watching. Please check out my other videos. There are also things. If you want to watch more Caillou Goes to Jail, click up in the top right corner. If you want to watch a random video that has nothing to do with my channel whatsoever, click in the bottom left corner. And if you want to buy shirts and shit, click in the description below where it says shirts and shit. Because